And Helen, I really always enjoy talking with you.
Well, I do too.
We have a visitor.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Pelletier Roundtree. I was born of a French family of fur traders, and my father had an associate who had a very handsome son who happened to be English, and his name was Robert, and that is how I became Mrs. Roundtree. I worked at the Occidental Hotel in downtown Muskegon. It was lucky to get the work because for working class people, that's all we have. When the children were grown, I was told that there was a need for someone to help in the hotel kitchen. As a matter of fact, there was a French chef who spoke very little English. And since I spoke fluent French, and I spoke some pretty good English, he was glad to have me. I became his assistant. And oh, the things that we cooked together were wonderful. Well, I'm recalling one day when our errand boy, Tommy, did not show up at the expected time. And I ended up having to go out to market for a couple of provisions that we really needed. That Tommy, that boy, I love him like one of my own. But he really worried me because this was the time of the Spanish influenza. And I was hoping he was just sleeping in and that he was not sick. But I'm talking all about myself, and I really need to give Helen some time.
Hi, I'm Helen Eikenberry, lately of the Netherlands. Because there was so much unrest back home with all the riots and all that, I decided to come over here and seek my fortune. And my mother and my sisters came with me. And it was 1897. I met a man called Frank and I married him. And oh, by the way, have you ridden that Ford automobile? Quite the thing, isn't it?
Oh, it's lovely, but I will tell you, until the roads get better, I would rather ride a horse. The ruts are terrible these days. But as you were saying?
Well, so Frank had this idea that since the German and English people coming over had a habit of cutting down Christmas trees, evergreen trees for Christmas. And so he thought he would go do it for them. So we did, or he did, and he brought them into town and he sold them and he made money. So what we did then was we bought land with his Navy pension, and oh, didn't he look handsome in his uniform? Oh,
I'm sure.
yes. But anyway, we did, so we grew trees, and he just, oh, it just took off.
Well, as I was saying about little Tommy, as it turned out, the boy was all right. And I had been really worried about him, so rather than giving him a swat, I just gave him a hug when he showed up late. We had wonderful times at the Occidental. There were so many businessmen, and of course with the railroad coming in, the business picked up. Important meetings were held there, sometimes fancy suppers. And after we worked, we would often share a glass of wine and talk about our families. And I told him one day, well, I'm an assistant chef, as it were. And he said, oh, yeah, sûrement. Well, I don't have a chef's hat. He said, why would you need one? Well, I like to enjoy status, if not a higher salary. And so, one day he surprised me by giving me this lovely chef's hat. He said, you can write in embroidery, sous chef across the rim. Well, I brought it home. I brought it home to Robert, who said, ah, sous chef. Well, then maybe they need to just write Sue, S-U-E, across it. And that caught on with the hotel staff, and so they were calling me Sue from time to time. But I digress. What more did you do?
Well, I cleaned the houses for the well-to-do people, or actually the young men who weren't married, they didn't have children. So I cleaned houses, but I did that here and there, and Frank grew the trees, or he cut them down and sold them, and he delivered mail. Now, Frank didn't die of the Spanish influenza, but our oldest boy, Marion, he did. He tried to fight it off as best he could, and I tried to help him, but with Frank gone, because he was in the Navy, it was only our two boys, John and William, who could go out and get the medicines that we needed. So that didn't help, and Marion died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry to hear that. As it happened, our children were grown, and they never did come down with the Spanish influenza. But just a few months later, both Robert and I did, and we expired.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So I hope that you are, well, you're dead, but I hope that you are healthy and you are being good.
And I hope that when you're living, you will have whatever help you need to come back to health.
Yes. Hi.
We would like to invite you to join the rest of the spirits at the City of the Dead on something called Facebook on October 10th. You are very welcome.
And you'll see us.